Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to NRL round number 23 tips. Pretty good week overall last week, 6 from 8 and a fantastic weekend on the Gold Coast with the Titans front line. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Let's go 8 from 8 in round 23. I'm going to 2 games this weekend. It's time to find out what's going to happen. This video is supported by TBC Live. Check out the TBC Live on the App Store or the Google Play Store. It's an app to enjoy NRL with friends while the game is going. You comment what's going to happen next, and you thumbs up and thumbs down if you disagree or agree with people. There's great rewards to win every week, and your favourite content creators, including me, are on the app. So check out TBC Live today. Originally, I was actually going to be at this first game, but I am not going anymore, unfortunately, guys. It is the South Sydney Rabbitohs and the Melbourne Storm. The Melbourne Storm coming off a loss to the Dragons, and the Rabbitohs coming off a loss to the Sharks. So both of these teams coming off losses makes it a bit interesting. Cody Walker is back for the Rabbitohs. Dean Hawkins has been named as 18th man looking to return from injury. Jacob Host and Harvey have been ruled out for this one as well. And Shakai Mitchell has been named on the bench for the Rabbitohs. Big out for the Storm. Eli Katoa out for this one, which means that Trent Liero moves to the back row with Nelson Asofa-Solomona moving to lock, and Folango is on the reserves, which is interesting for the side here. Well, Melbourne shell-shocked, their first loss to the Dragons in 25 years at Amy Park. They've been really good this season, but defensively they've been poor, and when teams can get their attack right, they do look beatable. A team that had their attack right a few weeks ago was the Rabbitohs. You never know what you're going to get with them lately, and the injuries that they've had all season with Campbell Graham, Latrell, even the Walker Whiten situation, it just seems to cost them this year. So I think the Storm bounce back here, guys, and I think the Storm are going to win 13 plus. I feel like the Rabbitohs can put more points than obviously they did last week. Pretty low score against the Sharks there. I'll go the Storm by 16 points, 32 points to 16 in this one. I think the Melbourne Storm will be too good for the Rabbitohs here, so the Storm to win 32 to 16. First try scorer, let's go a little bit rough here. Someone who scored a couple of tries early on but hasn't scored for a while. I'll go Sean Bloor for the Melbourne Storm to step up and score the first try at a core on Thursday night. Next up, it is the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Cronulla Sharks. I was obviously there in the Titans front line. What a win. This team has a lot of belief that they can make the top 8. It was great speaking with the Titans players after the game, and this is a club that's full of energy and has a lot of passion for their fans right now as well. They're taking on the Sharks, who beat the Rabbitohs in the top 4, trying to secure themselves a top in the spot 4, and this is a very crucial game for the Cronulla Sharks this season in their context of it as well. As for the Titans, being at home, it's a massive game as well to keep their season alive, but you know, both of these teams have different things to play for. Bo Fermor is out for this one, and Braden Hamlin-Uele is out for the Cronulla Sharks. So Cleese Haas comes back into the starting lineup in the back row for the Gold Coast Titans. Well, myself, BKR, the Titans front line, and just yourself as a crowd at Seabus Super Stadium, I think we made an electric atmosphere against the Brisbane Broncos the other day, and I look forward to being part of that Titans front line again. And man, they're riding some momentum. Obviously, a loss to Manly was a hiccup in what's been a really, really strong 8 weeks from the Gold Coast Titans. But all in all, man, they've been playing some good football, and they're going to be tough to beat. The Cronulla Sharks, they've got some team to do it, but, you know, they're just missing too much right now. So I'm going to put my Titans cap on now. I'm going to go the Titans 13 plus. We're going to go the Titans to win 28 points to 12. This is a game that I think the Titans can lead from start to finish. I know against the Broncos, they let it slip at the start and then came back in the second half. Did that against the Dolphins as well. In front of their home faithful, they're going to get a nice win here. Titans to win by 16 points. And first try scorer for this one will be David Fifita after missing out on a try last week. Go Titans. Next up, it is my Parramatta Eels taking on the Penrith Panthers. And I'll be there. I'll be there on Friday night. Looking forward to being there at CommBank Stadium. It has been about 2 months since I've been there. So long time coming for this one. We won We got a win against the Wars. How good. Wasn't expecting to win that game. I don't think anyone was expecting to win that game, but very happy to do so. Yes, we play the Penrith Panthers, who are going to be a tough opponent. Only an 8-point win against the Newcastle Knights at Penrith. I was actually surprised that this wasn't more. Didn't watch this game because I was flying back from the Gold Coast, but we always beat the Panthers. It's weird. And always beat them at big odds as well. So, seen us at $7, seen us at $5. Here we are at $5.80 for this one. Big outsider. Lots of players missing, obviously, for Para, though. Dane Laurie at fullback for the injury of Dylan Edwards. Isaiah Longy has been put on the reserves for this one. Cleary's been in great form, scoring lots of tries, and from all reports was involved in that win last week. Very involved. So, as for Parramatta, a nice win against the Warriors. Struggled to watch the first 10 minutes of the game, but ended up getting to watch it at a local pub after and have some dinner. Clint Gutherson, massive game from him. Thought the 4-pack really stood out. Interesting to see Luca Moretti has been dropped from this one. I don't understand what the club's obsession with dropping Luca is. I think he's a great young player coming through, and they've done enough of getting rid of players. So, look, big night on Friday night, big rivalry. Big vlog, my uncle and my cousin from England. You see him once a year. You see him 3 times. It's time for number 4. Taking him to the game. I think the Panthers win. I hate to say it. I love to sit here and say we win the Battle of the West again. I think this game will be closer than people think. We've been massively disrespected here with a line of 17.5. That line's too big. 11.5 last week. I took the Eels plus 11.5. So if you got on that best bet, I don't think we're a best bet this week, but I think we can keep it close. Panthers by 8, 24 points to 16, and first try scorer for this one. He always scores against Parramatta, so I'm going to go with Brian To'o, and I am going to chuck in an any time for this game. If it's true that Regan Campbell-Gillard is leaving, his last Battle of the West could be massive, so I'm going to go with RCG to score a try at any time in this. Next up, it is the Canberra Raiders hosting the Manly Sea Eagles. Now, let's have a look at both of these sides, because I did hear that Lehigh Hopewate is in. Just scrolling. Lehigh Hopewate returns to the wing. Tommy Talau in the centres for this one. Other changes, Aloye and Hosking both out for their sides. Waddell on the reserve. Bullymore Sipley, Ben Trebojevic and Chan Kum Tong make up the bench for Manly, who are well rested coming off the bye. And the Raiders, who were beaten by the Dogs at Belmore, Adam Cook, Trey Mooney, Adam Mariota and Simi Sasagi named on the interchange, with Danny Levi on the reserve for this one. So, yeah, the Raiders at home. This is probably a crucial game in the context of their season. Manly are in a good spot right now, but they need to do a little bit more to be guaranteeing themselves a final spot for Luke Brooks, who's had he's excited to play finals right now, Luke Brooks, but I don't think this will be easy. I don't think this will come easy for the Sea Eagle. I think the Raiders are going to turn up for this one in front of their home fans. I'm not saying they're going to play exactly based off the incident, but with what happened at Belmore, I think things around Canberra would be brewing. I think there'd be players getting to the support of Simon. So, if you haven't seen what happened, obviously Simon, unfortunately some Belmore fans decided to surround him, and there's I'm not going to talk about it. There's some horrible footage out there. So, everyone, Simon, if you're watching this, we stand with you. You've seen the video, and I really hope that, you boys can get a win this weekend. As for the context of the game, I think that Manly have shown that when they can go to away games, even though Brookvale has been a fortress, they've been really good away. That's why I think Manly win this one. I think Manly win by 8. I'm going to go Manly to win 26 points to 18. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders put up a massive fight and even collect the 2 points here. But I'm going to go with Manly to win. First try scorer, Tommy Talau. His form this season has been absolutely unreal. Moving to the centres, I like it as well. So Tommy Talau, first try. We're going to go Jordan Rapana anytime. I found this game tough to pick. Let's see if Manly can do it. Next up from Townsville, it is the North Queensland Cowboys hosting the Brisbane Broncos. Now, as for the Broncos, Josh Rogers comes into number 6 for the injured Ezra Mam. Xavier Willison starts in the front row. Brandon Piakura and Jordan Ricky make up the back row. Tristan Saylor comes onto the bench as well. Jake Granville is out for the Cowboys. Their bench is Edwards, McKaylee, Vinufuaki and Griffin Neame. Hylam Lukey, and obviously Carl Webb's jersey will be retired. I think they're going to be wearing a really, really nice retro jersey this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Jeremiah Nanai will be in jersey number 24 for that, obviously, respect out of Carl Webb there. The Broncos, season's over. Just to remind you, season's over. I mean, Parramatta's season's over too, mate, so you can join us. But the Cowboys, they're obviously fighting for a potential top 4 spot right now, playing some pretty good football. In attack, their defense has been shit. Absolutely shit. And I've said that all year, that these are pretenders, and I'm sticking by it. I'm sick of hearing they're the dark horse that can win the comp. However, they can win this game. The Broncos have made it tough for themselves if they get beaten by the Titans and the Cowboys, their rivals, in back-to-back weeks. But I think the Cowboys are going to produce something special at home. So, high-scoring one here, because the Cowboys cannot defend. The Cowboys to win, 34-16. Cowboys by 18 points. They should be too good once again for their opponents, the Broncos here. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Murray Taulagi to score the first try for the game. And the Cowboys to pile on the worries for the Brisbane Broncos, who have got some injury concerns right now. I'm going to this one. It's sold out. I'm looking forward to it. This is the game of the round by a country mile. This game is going to feed families. I know 3 years ago, you would have seen it on the TV and switched the button to turn it off. But the Dragons and the Bulldogs at Cogra is going to be such a big game. I can't wait for it. Now, both of these sides, if I'm not mistaken, look unchanged for this one. Yeah, both unchanged. Josh Curran has been named, even though he went off with a shoulder injury. So, going to be a really good game. I'm really, really looking forward to this one. The Dragons football this season has been some of the strangest football I've ever seen. They've beaten the Storm. They've beaten the Panthers. I just don't get how they're doing it. They've beaten Manly, who are pretty good. They've been inconsistent, but they've been able to get some big wins. The Bulldogs, man, I told you weeks ago that this team could go all the way. Now they're in 5th. They are killing it right now. Crucial game for both of these sides, more so for the Dragons. Right now they sit inside the top 8, but teams like the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Titans, we're chucking in the Knights, even though the Knights are not making the top 8. If the Knights make the top 8, man, I'll do what the top comment says. But this is going to be tough. Now, the goal kicking is a big factor for this one. Do they change the goal kicker for the Bulldogs, as it's been an issue in recent weeks? As for the Dragons, what a win at Amy Park. What a confidence-boosting win. I don't know who to tip here. So what I'm going to speak about is the battles. Now, the battles are Ben Hunt up against Toby Sexton. Ben Hunt's kicking game is going to be at its absolute best on Saturday night. Bronson Cherry up against Max Fine. I just have this feeling that Bronson Cherry is going to have a massive night and he's going to monster his opposition. Tyrell Sloan has been in pretty good form since coming back into the side in attack, so he is going to attack very well. So, this is so tough to pick, man. I think that the Dragons are going to win. I think the Dragons in front of their home fans, they've sold out Cogra, they've beaten Melbourne, sitting in the top 8, riding momentum. Zach Lomax's form's been good. Ben Hunt's been criticised and had a big game. I think he can do it against the Dogs. I think it's going to come down to goal kicking. I do. Dragons by 2, fairly high scoring, 22 points to 20 in favour of the Dragons. I wouldn't be surprised if the Doggies win this, but they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good away from home as well. Even though they haven't had the best away record in recent years, this year they've been good. I do believe that this truly could be the Bulldogs' year. But the Dragons are beating good teams. Dragons to win, 22-20. First try scorer, we're going to go with Ben Hunt. I think Ben Hunt's going to have a massive game. Loves scoring at Cogra. Anytime. Bronson Cherry. Have a feeling he might score a double. Next up, it is the New Zealand Warriors heading to Suncorp to take on, I almost said the Brisbane Broncos there, but it's not the Broncos. It is, just trying to get the thing up with my teams. Taking on the Dolphins. So the Dolphins take on the Warriors. Dolphins coming off a loss to the Roosters. Very strange game, very high scoring game. Dolphins attack looking much better than it had been in previous week. As for this one, Josh Kerr has been named as an out. So the bench is Ray Stone, Sean O'Sullivan, Oren Keeley, and Mark Nickel. On the bench for the Wires is Lussick, Ali Tavaga, and Halisima. Sean Johnson, obviously in the 7. He's announced his retirement. He's had a fantastic career, Sean Johnson. So I wish him all the best as he plays his final couple of games coming up. Ali Liatawa and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck make up the centres with Edward Cozzy on the wing. So a bit of a shake-up. This is important for the Warriors, and I think they're going to turn up here. I don't think they're going to win, but I think this game's going to be closer than people think. And the Dolphins, I can't get this read on them, especially defensively. So I'll go with the Dolphins to win, 20 points to 16. Dolphins by 4. First try scorer for this one, I'm going to go with Herbie Farnworth. I thought he was fairly good last week in Perth, and I think he can have another big game in front of the home fans this week. Dolphins should win. I'm a little bit concerned about this game. I think the Warriors are a chance. Finish off the game at the round at Newcastle with the Newcastle Knights taking on the West Tigers. Justin Olam and Latu Fainu out for this one. Halves of Galvin and Caesar for the Tigers. Coruscant in the 9. Bench is De Silva, Seyfarth, Pole, and Twal. In the back row comes Ruben Porter. And then for the Newcastle Knights, Will Price named on the reserves once again. It looks like there's no changes. Jacob Saifidi obviously had that calf injury last week and didn't play either, so no changes. I didn't actually watch Knights and Panthers. From what I heard though, the Knights weren't that bad. Only went down by 8 points as well. Now they go in front of the home faithful. Tricky game where the Tigers definitely can win this, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them right now. They score a lot of points one week. They score none the next week. This is one of those games where it's going to be tough for them. Knights to win, 13 plus. Knights 24 because their attack isn't polished for me. 24 points to 10. I'll go 10 for the Tigers there. First try scorer for this one, so obviously the Knights by 14. I'm going to go with Kalen Ponga to score the first try in front of the home fans for that one. That does it, guys. Massive round of footy. Obviously Friday, the Battle of the West, and then you've got Titans, Sharks, big game there. Dragons and Bulldogs is going to be massive on Saturday as well. Really looking forward to this round of footy. Roosters fans get the bye this week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Look out for the vlogs this weekend. I'll see you guys later.